Chris Mackowski of Emerging Civil War, and I am at Fort Donelson, standing here with the panoramic view behind me that has become one of the most iconic spots in all of Civil War history. As we think about those great, highly recognizable spots like the image from Lookout Mountain heading down toward Chattanooga, or the statue of Governor K. Warren atop Little Round Top. Here, looking upriver at the Cumberland River from Fort Donelson has become one of those iconic spots that we all recognize. So first, what I want to do is just take a second and enjoy and appreciate that perspective. This is an area known as the Lower Battery. There was an upper battery just a couple hundred yards off my left, just upriver just a little bit. The Confederates had 8 32-pounder smooth bores here, plus one 8-inch Columbia down on the end. And as Andrew H. Foote brought his fleet around the bend in the river up there, these artillery pieces opened up with what became known as Iron Valentines because it was the 14th of February, 1862. Foote's got 3 timberclads and 5 ironclads, and as he starts coming down, he's trying to go against the current, and so that really slows him down, and you can see it's a nice straight shot as his guys are coming down the river here behind me, and so they're really slow-moving targets for these Confederate artillerists. And Foote's fleet, which had done so well at Fort Henry days earlier, really takes a pounding here. Foote thought he'd kind of sweep in and capture the fort just as he had at Henry before Grant's army really even has a chance to take part in the action. But Foote is quickly disabused of that notion and will have to then withdraw and go back upriver for repairs. What we're going to do is go down by the river to see a perspective of this fort that a lot of people don't get a chance to take a look at. I'm going to take just a moment to jump down in front of the fort. This is a perspective most people don't get to see because they're busy looking at that iconic view up the river. But you can see the guns of Fort Donelson behind me there, and over off to my right as I swing back around there we can see the Cumberland River. That's upriver there, and of course the U.S. gunships are coming from that direction toward the fort. There are little signs down here that talk about some of the gunboats, the Pittsburgh, the Louisville, the St. Louis, the Carondelet, if I can say that correctly. But this is obviously a part of the battlefield that doesn't get visited much because the signs are look like they need a little bit of love and a little bit of attention down here. But it's a really neat view to come down next to the river and see things up close on the banks of the river here, which are pretty steep as you head down. And part of that's just because of the riprap that they have used to help protect this part of the river so it doesn't actually erode away the embankment. You can see a sign there for boaters that says Fort Donelson National Park. If we take a look here, you can see erosion protection right through here because the river's constantly changing courses, and it could easily just carve this whole national landmark away if something wasn't done to protect it. If we look further up, we can see some sandy, muddy beaches, and the river's left to its own devices. But here, this is really to help protect this fantastic site, which is well worth a visit if you ever get the chance to come down here. So, of course, as a result of Foote's inability to get up here and reduce the fort, that's going to lead Grant to then try to lay siege to the fort. It's going to lead to a fight here, and eventually, one could argue Grant's ascension to the presidency because he will go on to demand unconditional surrender from this garrison after a pretty sharp fight. And that unconditional surrender will make him a national celebrity. It'll be the first clear cut in many victories to come for him, and his upward rise really has a huge boost here at Fort Donelson. I'm Chris Mackowski for Emerging Civil War. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you online and on the battlefield.